Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to my world, my podcast. Today we have a special guest, Marques Miles. Marques Miles is an unscripted producer with an extensive production and development background on the production side. He has produced the music documentary series Unsung for TV One. Marques' unscripted experience is inclusive production on true crime series Gangster for Reals channel and Hip Hop Homicide for WETV. He has also produced on the Amazon Sports documentary series Coach Prime, which follows Pro Football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders' collegiate season as head coach of the Jackson State University. But there's a lot more to it. So, Marques, I would like you to tell my audience a little more about you and your beautiful background and credentials that you have.
Thanks, Amos. Appreciate it, and thank you for having me on your podcast. Yes, I am a television producer, focused on unscripted and documentary filmmaking, mostly television series. Like you mentioned, I've worked on all kinds of things. My background has been in sports, has been in as of late, has been in the crime world as well. But then also, I've also told a lot of uplifting stories, a lot of music documentary series stories as well. So I've been blessed and fortunate to be able to kind of touch a lot of areas in the entertainment industry, and so excited to speak with you about it. Excited for the opportunity to work with you and your team on documenting Ari Ramos' story for her fight for children's obesity, and excited to engage with you over the course of this time.
Great, and we also picked you because of your background. And as you know, we have an obesity epidemic in the US. We have over 250 million people that are overweight and obese. And of that, 25 million are our children. And really, there's no end in sight. And I couldn't think of a better person, and I'm glad you accepted us, to do a documentary. But here I got a few questions. First of all, what inspired you to become a filmmaker?
Well, I was inspired to work in television because I grew up a lover of TV, a lover of film. But as I was growing up, I had no idea that there was actually an industry that would allow for me to work in that industry. My parents were both educators; they're both administrators at UC Irvine. So I grew up in around that the educational world. So I didn't really have anybody to kind of mentor or talk to or look up to originally who was in the entertainment industry. And it wasn't until I got to high school when I started taking television production classes as a after school program through what we have here in California called the ROP program, which is a regional occupational program. So I started taking those television production classes when I was a junior in high school, and just kind of fell in love with the process. And then I also continued, into my senior year as well, throughout my senior year of high school. So then once I was set to graduate from high school, I knew that television film was a direction that I wanted to go into. And I was fortunate to meet a friend of mine from high school. His name's Jeff Kearney. His stepdad, Eddie Okuno, was a cameraman and then tech manager for NBC. So he was my first introduction into the entertainment world, giving me some pointers, giving me some information as to the industry and kind of how he got into the business and so forth. And so once I decided to go to college, and I knew that I wanted to select and go to a school where there was a film and television presence, School of Communications, and that would be a program that I could, not just learn from, but then also meet individuals and have those, real situations, real experiences that I knew would help me once I graduated to get a job.
Okay, next question. Maybe it sounds awkward, the question. Have you ever been nominated for any awards? Did you receive any awards?
Yeah, so I am a two-time Emmy nominated producer. The first nomination I got was working on the documentary to tell the story of Shannon Sharpe for NFL Network as he was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So we told his story. The documentary is called Sharpe Focus, Journey to Canton. So it just kind of tells the life of Shannon Sharpe, who you can see every day on Fox Sports in the mornings. The second nomination came from my time also at the NFL Network, but working on NFL Game Day Morning, which is the NFL's network's pregame signature show for the network. So I was nominated as part of the team, for that show as well. And then in terms of awards that I've won, awards that I'm, obviously proud of are the NAACP Image Awards that I won for my work on the series Unsung for TV1. Unsung's a music documentary series that's been on the air since 2008. I've been fortunate to be a part of the series since 2014. And the series we've done over 200 episodes. Some episodes that I, been blessed to produce. Produce an episode on Ike Turner, produce an episode on Thelma Houston, Pete Rock, the rapper Fat Joe, Drew Hill. So it's a series that really, really highlights and focuses on Black music and the contribution to the culture. And so been blessed and proud to be a part of that team and a part of that series. And the series has won, lots of awards, lots of NAACP Image Awards. And I've been, blessed to be a part. Actually, you know what? We've actually won 5. I've won 5. So, yeah, it's been a great experience.
Well, I hope that new series you're going to do for the Children's Obesity Foundation, the documentary, you're going to get an Emmy Award. I know you're going to do a great job. I have no doubt. Now, I do have a question. This is more personal. Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to take on the obesity epidemic to create the documentary? And will it be a one-time show? Will it be a series? And I want my audience to know that we actually started 3 years ago. That's when the epidemic started, the COVID-19, and we're just stopped in the middle. So what's your answer to that?
Well, when we first originally met, it was I was trying to get another documentary going with a musician and kind of looking at his struggles with weight. And so obviously I thought that, with the organization that you have, Children's Obesity Foundation, I thought it would be a great partnership as a sponsor, as a fiscal sponsor for the documentary that we were looking to do with that artist. Obviously in the world of entertainment, when you set out to do a project, there's a lot of different variables that come into play. And so unfortunately we were unable to move the needle on that project the way that we would like. But, our relationship continued to stay strong. You and I continued to dialogue and talk about ideas, and you sharing the ideas that you had with your books and publishing and the organization. And then when this opportunity, presented itself to tell the story of Ari and her journey across country and the fact that she's wanting to do it again, it's from a story making standpoint and a storyteller standpoint, it was a no-brainer to be able to get on that journey. But then also from a standpoint of understanding, the importance of obesity and those issues that are around it in health and wellness. It's always, it's great to promote that. And I think for me, being someone who has struggled, for many years, I can kind of understand where people are going through and what people are dealing with when they're dealing with their obesity issues or dealing with their issues with food and whatnot. As of almost 11 months now, I've lost 50 pounds. So I've been on my own,
Great.
weight loss journey. So, and I have a mindset now that I'm, kind of sticking with and being able to bounce back if I do have a setback in terms of what, watching what I eat, being focused to work out as well. So yeah, so it's been great. And so those are kind of, the high level reasons in terms of why, working with the organization and being a part of a project like this, is obviously intriguing to me.
Well, we're going to make a 3,000-mile marathon happening, and I think a lot of people will join us. As a matter of fact, you beat me because I just lost 20 pounds and you got 60. My wife told me, Amos, how do you get in front of the podium and talk about obesity, about the healthy lifestyle, and you're a little overweight, polite way of saying obese a little. Yeah. So I decided, do what you preach. And it's strictly a mindset, and it's a healthy lifestyle. Your personal opinion, I make an assumption that you're going to be a nominee award. You should get one for that show, God willing. And how do you think it will affect when kids are going to watch it, or their parents, which really make the decisions for the kids? What do you think people are going to feel after watching it?
So for me, as a television producer, documentarian, I do what I do for the rewards and not the awards. I feel like awards can come, but I think the rewards are what are more, obviously more important in regards to this story and this journey with you all. The rewards of being able to share, not just share Ari's journey and her focus to be able to do, this trip across country, not just for the first time, but for the second time, but also for those viewers and for those parents, those kids, all those individuals who are going to watch and also understand what it is to have, a burning desire, to have perseverance, or to understand the importance of a healthy lifestyle, to understand the importance of being active and being fit. So, that's more of a, obviously the focus for me than the hopes of wanting to win any awards. Because at the end of the day, awards are going to be determined by individuals, committees. It's going to be determined by focus groups and all of these other areas. And that doesn't necessarily mean you winning award it's going to be a product or a project that's going to attach, or not attach, but take hold of viewers and provide them with information and provide them with knowledge and things that they might not have necessarily understand, but most importantly provide them with a blueprint of what it means to do, to set out and achieve a goal with what Ari is trying to do.
Absolutely. One of the advantage we have, sadly, I hate to say it, we have a captive audience because everybody can relate to obesity. And if you're not, somebody who is a family member or a friend. So I think you're going to have a natural audience over there just following it. And if you can make it into a series, I think it's going to be a hit. Yes, I always think positive. Question, that's going to be a 60-day or 2 months event. We're going to travel to different cities. We're going to be met by mayors, public officials, hopefully some senators, some Congress people, and help us promote it. And I'm talking to a few newspapers. I'm going to talk to major, and I know you will too, to major radio station, TV station, and we want to make it an event that everybody. Do you remember the movie Forrest Gump when he was jogging? That's what I can visualize. As she's jogging, the city's going to have a big banner. Welcome, Ari. 3,000-mile marathon to help fight obesity. And hopefully we can raise a lot of money that we can use to do the program, the marathon, and implement all the programs we have on the Children's Obesity Foundation to teach the children a healthy lifestyle. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Obama had a campaign, Let's Move campaign, and nothing to do with politics. What was beautiful about it, and this is why I wrote the book, The Chubby Conqueror. And by the way, we work on the movie. I've been working for a few years, and the movie should also be very successful because people and kids will relate to it. So it's something that all politicians, doesn't matter who you are, will want to join, because our health, our future generation, our kids, is our future. And if we're going to have a bunch of sick kids, they're going to pass it on to their children, etc., and so on. So I feel very positive. I'm excited, as a matter of fact. How do you logistically follow for 60 days Ari on a bicycle? You're not going to have your crew sitting on bicycles, I'm sure.
Yeah, the logistics in, a project like this has to be, planned out to the T. Obviously, there's going to be elements and things that are going to happen that are going to be, out of our control. But for the most part, it's going into it with a plan, and then being able to adjust. I mean, that's what entertainment and production is going into any kind of production with a plan, but having the ability and the foresight to be able to adjust to whatever happens and whatever situation that happens. So with this particular project, it's going to be a situation where, it's imperative to document Ari's story, as to why she wants to do this. What's her reason for doing this? Also get some insight as to what happened to her the last time that she did this. Originally, she did this running in two sections across country, and was doing it, solo, not necessarily having that much attention on her. A lot of people might not necessarily have known that she had done that. Obviously, the difference now is, the organization behind her, the fact of putting a plan together of how to document it. So it's telling the story, the background as to how we got here, Ari's story of how we got here, portions of that, how she met you in the organization and why you guys decided to come to collaborate on this event and on these efforts. Then when we're in the actual production, when we're in the actual her traveling across country, then it's going to be, we'll probably need 1 or 2 crews. Ideally, it'd be nice to have 2 crews, but if we have 1 crew, then that'll be great. But it's going to be a situation where you're now just documenting and being like a fly on the wall, of the process.
Right.
Production not engaging or getting involved with any of the planning or any of how the process is moving, but simply just being there to kind of document the experience. Obviously, it's going to take, a commitment from those crew members. That's why we obviously hope to have the resources in place to be able to have a stellar crew to be able to document. But it's going to take those resources to have a crew to be able to be there the duration of that time, to be able to be there overnight when she's, camping somewhere, or to be at a home of somebody who provides, some shelter, at a city, or be there when, she pulls into a small town and the mayor and the other residents there are, cheering her on. So all of that is going to take planning and preparation. And so once all of this is filmed, then it's a matter of kind of sitting back and seeing, all right, where's the stories, the A, the B, and the C stories that are being told? Do we have everything that we, there might be situations along the way where we might find different stories and another story might come, may develop, out of that. So, with that being said, once everything is done, or in the can, so to speak, now it's time to kind of the edit process and kind of shape what the story is going to be. And ideally for this, you want to kind of have that creative control to be able to understand and follow and pursue these different stories. So we would, want to be able to have, enough resources to be able to film and document over the course of this time. And then put together, whether it's a feature-length documentary or whether it's, a limited 4 or 5 part series, that's kind of what the long-term, the objective is. But at the end of the day, we can't do any of that until we've got content shot. And that takes time, preparation, and of course, resources. So that's the process going.
Well, part of the things that we're doing, even during the interview today, is we're going to have to get volunteers all over the US, the route that we're going to be going. We're going to have to make sure that Ari has a place to sleep at night. When she told me her story, when she jogged, she had to sleep in alleys, in tents. And here's a woman by herself. It's actually very scary. But she's a real health advocate, and that's what her degree is in. And when the coronavirus came out, she actually went to work in the hospitals to help out. So she really believes in the foundation. So part of my job, your job, our job, is to find volunteers and also get as many donations as we can. I'm talking to some major companies, and I told them what we're doing. They sound interested, excited. So right now we're preparing a nice plan. I think it's going to take about 6 months before the whole thing is completed, and she's going to be on the route, bicycling across the US. And I know it's going to be a success. I have no doubt. Like I said before, everybody, almost everybody, 2/3 of America can relate to it, sadly. Any question you want to ask? Me or?
No, I don't have any. No, nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, if you want the audience to have talk to you directly, would you like to give me your email or phone number?
Sure. You can email me. I can be reached at marcus@themilesmediagroup.com.
I would highly recommend if you like to get involved. Of course, you can contact me, Amos, AMOS, at obesitystops.org. And you can also donate on the site. And any question you want to ask me, you can ask me. Of course, one of the sponsors of the show will be Knoll Publishing, which is also me. And as I'm also disclosing that I'm also the founder and chairman of Children's Obesity Foundation. And if we all work together as a team, as one team, we can make it such a success. But most important, we can save a lot of kids. When you think about it today, kids, 10, 12 years old, have the same symptoms as elderly people: enlarged arteries, high blood pressure, heart disease, sleep apnea. That's what old people get. Not everybody. So here, let's try, not for me, not for Marcus, for our kids, for our future generation, for a future generation. Let's do it for them. Let's give them a chance. And come join the team. And we're going to make it a big success. And Marcus, my wish for you as a producer is that you will get an Academy Award, because that's a subject that everybody loves. I mean, everybody talks about it. And some of the sponsors I'm talking to, those are companies. Somebody asked me, would you go to McDonald's? I said, not really, because I want to go to companies that sell healthy food for the kids. The restaurants that sell healthy food where kids can go in there and eat. There are many, and this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They're spending money left and right. Can you imagine the sponsors, how much publicity they're going to get when you're jogging for 60 days? I'm sorry, jogging, that's what you did the first time, Ari. When you have a marathon on a bicycle, and I can see, like in the movie Forrest Gump, I'm a romantic, I know that. Everybody, when you go to a city, people are going to follow her as far as they can go. And then you go to another city, and then we're going to have a big arrival, either Fort Lauderdale or Miami. I'll have to talk to the mayors in the city. It takes a lot of planning. And the one that's going to do the planning, that has to do also because of the weather, what time of the year. And it's going to be Ari, because it's nice for me to talk, but I'm not going to be on a bicycle. I might drive along part of the way, but let's make it a success. And again, if anybody wants to volunteer, or if you want to donate, go to www.obesitystops.org. And Marcus, thank you very much for joining us and being part of our team. Now, answer me one question. You spell your name Marques. Why do I call you and everybody calls you Marcus?
Oh, because that's how my mom pronounces it, Marcus. I'm named after Marques Johnson, NBA, UCLA basketball legend. When my mom came to California from Detroit, Michigan in the late 70s, he was the biggest ticket in LA. And my mom liked the way he spelled his name. Right. So when it was time for me to come, she wanted to name me Marcus, but also spell it Marques, which I've been told is French. So going back to my email, so that's Marcus, Marques at the Miles Media Group.
Okay. It's funny, we're talking about names. My name is Amos, spelled Amos. When people used to call my office and they asked for Amos, my secretary knew it was either somebody who knew me, because otherwise it's Amos, spelled the same way. So I understand where you're coming from. Anyway, everybody, thank you very much. Go to our site and do the best you can. And thank you, and looking forward for the next podcast we're going to have.
I reiterate, we're going to do this for the rewards, not the awards.
Okay. I talk and spell with Hebrew, German, Brooklyn, Jewish accent. That's how I get away with it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I am a conqueror.